Welcome back to the Jungle King 007 channel. Today's episode we're going to be working on this little Homelite leaf blower. One of my coworkers actually gave it to me to try to repair for her. She actually found it on the side of the road and thought it would be interesting to see if she could use it. But first there were some issues. She couldn't get to start running, and when I got it right off the bat, I noticed that it looks like one of these hoses is busted. As you can see right here, hopefully it can, the light will grab it, but there's the hose. This is actually the fuel main line that is busted. The rest of it is in here. Also I noticed was the primer bulb actually has a hole in it. So those two main pieces need to be fixed or replaced, and hopefully this little kit that I found at the local hardware store will fix this. So I'm going to show you how to rebuild these. Usually on little motors like this, it's going to be the fuel lines. I've seen, and actually the one right behind it, I don't know if you can see it, but fuel line is busted on that one. So hopefully that's going to be the simple fix to get that one running. The last couple that I've done, that's the issue. It's always hoses for some reason, but nobody has the time to fix them, so they throw them out and go get a brand new unit. But hopefully on this one, like I said, that's a simple fix. Let me get this camera up on a tripod and we can start pulling things off. First things first, let's check for spark. I'm going to take the spark plug out here. I have pre-loosened this so we can get this moving a little faster. So we can see spark plug, obviously. Let me clean this off real fast. I'm going to put it back in the plug holder, or the line, and I'm going to do a quick tug. Let's see if I can get a good look here. GoPro's above it, so hopefully you can see it here. Now I can see we have some spark. Yep, there's some good spark. Yep, so we're good on that. So spark's good. At least this thing has a fighting chance. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back in. I'm just going to leave it in there loose for now. Next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to have to take the fuel tank off. As we can see, obviously the lines are broken, because here's one right here. So we'll take this off so I can get better access here, as well as on the side so I can grab the primer bulb and get all the hoses out of here. So let's do that now. What I found is it takes a 25 or a T25, and I'm going to use my impact driver here to take those out. Hopefully I can get a good break on these. Alright, so that's a good one. That's that bolt there. Let's get the other one on the other side. Cool. So 3 of those bolts. Just take this tank off. Now I'm not really worried about these if they break. I mean, obviously we're replacing them, so got to pull them off of the carburetor. Looks like this one's not going to budge. Well, let's see, where is that finish? Oh, there it is. Alright, so it finishes up here, so let's see if I can edge it off. Get a good grab on it. There it goes. I don't want to break the carburetor. Yeah, there we go. I should be able to pull it off because it basically broke loose. There we go. There's our fuel tank. Now all I have to do is get those hoses out of there. This right here is a return line, and it basically goes right up into this primer bulb, and I guess if any excess gas is pushed in here, it just pushes it right back into the fuel tank. So let's go ahead and take these out. I'm going to actually go ahead and fish the other half piece out of there. Hopefully these will work. Found these at a local flea market. Always good to have some big pair of medical pincers or medical tongs, stuff like that. So there is the main fuel line. Put that to the side. And then this other one just looks like it fishes up in here, so we can should be able to just pull it right out of here. So there's that line. Don't need those anymore. So it looks like what we have to use out of the kit is this wire hook, and here's the main line. So the first one, it looks like the main line came in from the bottom on this lower hose, on this lower hole. So let's feed this through. Hopefully I'm going to do this right. Feed this through. Now they already have these cut, and there's already a hole in it. So we have to attach the little hook to that hole. And let's see if we can bring this through. I've been having issues with it because it keeps falling off. But let's see if I can do it slow enough that it'll line up with this hole and I can bring it right through. Because the problem I'm facing is that with how this is angled, it is not wanting to grab and go through the hole. Let's see if I can get that right. Come on. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. The last few times I tried this, I was not able to get the inside, get this to line up with that hole. So now we can just pull that right through. Should be able to, at this point, push it. Let's try pulling it the other way. There we go. Now success, we got the line in. So what I'm gonna do is just take this off. Don't need that anymore. Just pull this up just a little bit. And I'm going to now try to feed this hose back into there. And where did it go? Come on. Oh, there it goes. Now I should be able to press it down. There we go. Yeah, so hopefully you can, let's see if I can get a good look. Yeah, there you go. Now you can see it sitting all the way up there on the other side. So that's part one. Now let's get the return line situated. So we have to do the same thing. Get our little tool. Let us hook it through. Hook this line to the hole that's already drilled. All right, let's see if that works. All right, now we got this one. Let's try to pull it through the secondary one, which is just above it. Come on. There we go. That one was on the first try. So I don't know if we need too much out of here. Well, at least we get a start. So let me pull this line off here now, because I don't want to break any more. There we go. Got the rest of that hose off. Now this primer bulb appears to be, yeah, I'm actually going to have to. Does it appear? Yeah. Cover's in the way of the second screw. So I'm going to have to take that off. So I just need to get this piece off here. That cover off. I'm going to show you how this thing is held on. Here's a Torx bit, and then looks like they've run a rod all the way through, and it's acting as a stud. You actually have to pull that stud off, so there's two separate components, or two separate tools you're going to need to get just this piece off in order to get to that screw. Looks like it's going to be an 8mm to remove this piece here, so let's go ahead and do that now. Looks like that stud goes all the way through. It's a pretty long stud. Now all we have to do is get that Torx, which is sitting right here. What size? Oh, apparently that one's too big. Let's go with the 20, T20. Hopefully that one get it off. Yep. Oop, missed. Guess we're taking the entire carburetor off. Yep, there's the other one. So there is the entire carburetor. Wasn't wanting to do that, but okay. So now we have to just get to these two bolts here. So we can do that with the, yep, there we go. Just two Phillips head screws. Take this piece completely off. Looks like that. I guess that's a diaphragm. Looks like it's okay. Now all I have to do is just pull this piece off. don't want to touch that piece underneath as much as possible. All right, so got this piece off. So you can see, I think it was, yeah, see there's the hole that I was referring to. So this needed to be replaced. Kit came with a new one. And just pop that one on. And then just put the cover back on. Let's just put everything back together as it was. Tight, tight. All right, I'm gonna clean this up real quick, and then we'll install it, because there's a lot of grime on it, and I'd want to try to clean this up as best for her, so it looks decent before I start putting everything back together. So let's go ahead and reinstall it. Got those 2 bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and run them through the carburetor and everything else in between, and slide this back in and attach it to the head. Make sure these things aren't too far out, or else I'm not going to be able to line them up. Line that one up, and that second one. All right, that feels good enough. And we'll tighten this one by hand. I'm not going to use an impact wrench on these, because you can probably strip out those bolts. That's good enough. All right, so that looks good. Now let's reinstall this. I want to make sure I've got enough line, because it's got to go on both of these. I think I've got enough for the main fuel line. I'm going to go ahead and snip this piece off so I have a flat edge. Where'd my little nippers go? There they are. So we're going to cut that bit off. Make sure it's flat. Messed that one up, so let's do that again. There we go. So there's a flat. Let's do that on this one too. Here we go, flat edges. Now let's pull off a little bit more here. Because this one doesn't, I don't think this needs to be in the fluid that's in here, but we do want to give ourselves enough so that these are flexible. I want to make sure when I hook this up, sits like this. We can run it down and attach it. I've actually got too much, so I'm going to run some more in. Push some of this into the fuel tank. There we go. And that should be enough. Let me angle it so you can see what I'm doing. So we're hooking, this is the main fuel line, we're hooking it to the bottom one here, and I don't want it really touching here, so I'm gonna push it a little bit more into the fuel tank. But you're also running the fine line, you don't want to crimp the line. So I think that should be enough right there. Let's hook that in. So yeah, I think that will be okay. Let's check this other one. This one I'm gonna have to pull some out. This one actually I think will be okay. Yep, it looks like that one's gonna be good. So let's go ahead and install these. We're gonna run them all the way up on their little tubes. The back one is your main line, this one's the return line. So push that up as much as I can. I don't think it matters if it goes all the way up, but as long as you've got enough hooking onto it, it'll stay. Let's get this other one in there too. There we go. Now, let us install it. So we got the fuel tank reinstalled, new hoses on there, new primer bulbs installed. Everything that was just pulled apart was put back on except for the covers. I'll do that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and bring it upstairs and see if this guy will run. All right, let's go ahead and give this a start up. Let's see if we can prime it a couple times. Yeah, it's not picking. Let's see if I can grab some of it. There it goes. Alright. Now we're seeing some gas going through the return line. There it is, going through the main. So, let's follow the instructions. Press the primer bulb multiple times. Let's turn it to full choke. Pull that. Now let's give her a pull, see what happens. Alright, leave it on half choke. It says pull to start. Put it back on half. Oh, let's put it back on full, sorry. See, it ran, so let's put it on half choke and try it again. It's getting fuel. So I think there's something else going on other than that fuel line, because what's been happening is it will start in full choke, it'll run, but the moment I try to run into half choke, it revs really high and then shuts off. Or I've had one case where it revved up, it sputtered, revved up again, and then shut right back off. So I think what's going on here is something with the carburetor. And I was kind of suspecting that earlier on too. You know, sometimes these things get gummed up, but I'm probably going to see about pricing out a repair kit or seeing how much it is just to get a replacement. I don't think these are very expensive. I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to see about parts and I will get back to you. So it's a new day. I've had time to do some research and figure out what other issue could be with this unit. While yes, we did replace the hoses, that was a very obvious fix that needed to be done for this. The problem that I kind of suspected afterwards was this sat for a while, and I'm assuming a lot of times people don't do the correct procedures on putting these away for the winter or, you know, whatever, putting it away for a very long time. So I pulled the carburetor off, and I want to show you what I found, and I kind of suspected this would be the case. So let's see, right there. See all this junk right here? This right here, it's all now solid. This is kind of like whatever's in gas or the oil gets dried up if you don't clean these things out, or at least if you don't winterize these before this gets put away. On the other side, because this is, I believe, yeah, here we go. There's a screen right here, and junk will get stuck in that screen. So this either needs to be cleaned out or replaced. Now, yes, I could probably have just gotten a brand new one of these carburetors, because I think they're 20 bucks is the replacement I found for this. But after doing a lot of online looking, I found a carb kit for a similar model to the one that comes off of these units. So we're going to put that in today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here. I'm going to get all this junk off, and I'm going to remove the rest of these components. This right here, all it's held in by is this one screw. So you pull this screw off, pull this rod off. There is a needle back behind this. Gonna take this out. I'm gonna do some good scrubbing, get all this stuff out of here, and we'll reassemble this, put this back on this, and we'll try it again. I'm about to put some of these seals in the diaphragm. I do want to note a couple differences on the kit as opposed to what came out of the carburetor we're currently working on. The first thing I want to show is the needle, which is this right here. This is the old needle. let me go ahead and I will hold up the needle that came in the kit. You can probably see the difference. Obviously you can't use this in this one carburetor, so use the original. I mean, this one doesn't, I mean, you can look at it, it's not bad at all, so we're just going to reuse it anyway. Also, some of these kits, I wanted to see this here. This right here is it's a gasket out of it, but what came in the kit are 3 of these plastic pieces. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure how this is supposed to go. Is it that black piece only and these 2 white pieces are just covers for it? Or is it all 3? So, I mean, to be on the safe side, I'm not even going to use this. This actually looks fine, so I'm going to just reuse this piece. Also, diaphragm. This is the one out of the kit. Let's not rip it apart. So this is the diaphragm and the gasket out of the kit. Here is the gasket and the diaphragm that came off of the unit. They look, well, I don't know if you can see it on my black glove, but they do look the same. The only difference I can tell is right up here, there are 2 marking holes. On this one, there's only 1, and the reason why that one's there is to make sure you know which way goes down on the carburetor. So this is kind of how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be this gasket and then the diaphragm, according to how I pulled this off. So let's go ahead and put everything on, tighten everything down, and then stick it on the blower. We're back up in the garage. Let's go ahead and prime this. I just put some gas into it. Just want to make sure I get this primed up enough. And that should be enough. Let's put it on, well, let's run. It says full choke. Let's give her a couple pulls, see what happens. So let's turn that all the way to full according to the directions. Well, that was successful. Started right up after that carburetor repair. Now, the one thing, I don't know if anybody can hear it, but it sounded like it was bogging down. So what I'm gonna need to do, and I'll show you right here, and let's zoom in. Hopefully I've got this right in the shot. These 2 adjustment screws here, they need to be adjusted so that it's got a better fuel-air ratio. We'll have to do that while it's running. Unfortunately, I don't have the tool to do that, so I'm going to have to find a way to make sure that I can adjust these. So give me just a moment and I will do that. Now, normally you would need a tool to do this, but there was also some talk of doing some modifications to this carburetor. Well, I'm not going to do the modifications, and I'm kind of too frugal to buy the tool. So I did a little bit of searching, and what I found was a gentleman said to use a 14 gauge solderless wire connector, and that's what this is right here. It's a union wire connector, and the theory behind it is that the diameter of this is right around the same as those adjustment screws. So let me zoom in on those adjustment screws real quick here. We're going to do a test just to show that it works, And I have done this already and it does work, but I wanted to get it on camera just to show you all. What you do is basically you press down on this and twist, and that should be your adjustments. And I will apologize in advance, my hand may get in the way, but as we can see here, I'm going to adjust this one right here, and it looks like the little notch here is facing towards this other screw. Let's just see if it moves. There we go. We can see the notch is now facing downwards. So this did indeed work. You will have to put some force behind it in order to get it to move, but this is an alternative to needing to buy the actual tool. So at this point now, I'm gonna start it back up, I'm gonna let it warm up, and then I'm going to do the adjustments.
I would say this was successful on those adjustments.
I'm actually very satisfied with how this repair went. It was only 2 kits that were very low cost, a little bit of adjustment to those screws here, and got this guy back up and running. My coworker should be pretty pleased because I think I only spent about 15 bucks total on repairing this, and she found this for free. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Feel free to subscribe. I will be doing more videos like this. I do enjoy putting these things back together, troubleshooting them, trying to get them working again. And hopefully you enjoy it too. So feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day. See you on the next one.